Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you guys haven't checked out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, please be sure to go and do that. Completely free to join. Link to that in the description below and also at the top of the chat. Join discussions, chat with other traders, including myself. I share ideas there, which I'm looking at to trade. So if you're interested, make sure you go check it out. And of course, you can find out a lot more about Elevating Traders, the firm, as well. But I hope you guys are doing well. What's up, CC Integrated? Dark, check the mic. I'm using the wrong mic again. Yes, I am. Thank you, Dark Sean, for letting me know. Let me know if that's sounding better as well. But yeah, last time I did that, did the whole kind of first bit of the stream in the wrong audio, which was not great. But yeah, thank you for letting me know, Dark Sean. But good morning, people. Hope everyone's doing good. What's up, you saying? Good morning. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Dark Sean. Appreciate it. But yeah, guys, welcome to the stream. As I said, welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well this Monday morning. As always, we'll go through the USD side of things, take a look at DXY, USD majors, gold and silver. We'll go through some indices as well. Any requests, let me know. Put it down in the chat. Okay, appreciate it, Chris. Shadrach, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Gorish, good morning. Hope you're well. Manzondi, as always, hope you're doing good. What's up, Chris? Welcome. Philip, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Happy New Year to you as well. Hope you're doing good. Okay, I'll take a look at that. I'll go for USD markets first, and I'll take a look at a USDT for you. Okay, you sold at 1.08. Okay, so you're in a trade there. Okay, we'll go through that after I go for the USD. What's up, Karis? What's up, King? Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well. So yeah, as always, dollar. So things have started off the week pretty bearish for USD, of course, pretty bullish for the USD majors. If you haven't been on the streams for the past week or so, my bias has been very, very bullish for USD, and I'm expecting more of the same, of course, until proven otherwise. The way I'm looking at it is we've had a really strong breakout of the highs here in the past 2-3 weeks. And it looks like price has picked its direction, picks its trend potentially, and I'm expecting more of the same. As long as price doesn't come crashing back down, crashing back down and break back underneath this zone here, that's when my longer term bias will change for USD, because of course at that point that becomes a big fake out. Price now back below a key level. I'll expect a reaction and a continuation. So that's the only way I'll be longer term bearish with USD. But at the moment in time, it's a solid breakout. Price is trading well above this area of resistance. So the next big level is well and truly this level up here at 113, 114. So that's where I'm expecting price to go. Of course, long way away, big target, could still take ages for us to get there, and I do expect it to. But that's kind of the direction I'm looking to trade USD in for the foreseeable future. So when I'm seeing moves like this, the downside, I'm looking at it as price having a pullback, finding the next higher low for a continuation. Now, if I move this out of the way, this is our last major swing low, which gave us the highs up here. So I still do like a possible pullback to this area here. But in terms of levels which could get respected equally, I would say that this consolidation here looks equally as good, probably even better in terms of the market coming into this area, finding a higher low and continuing to the upside. So that's really what I'm looking at for USD. Should we have a deeper pullback, 107 looks good as well. But I'm looking at this area as an area where buyers will be looking to get involved, and we could be seeing the next higher low form. And a lot of momentum in the past, at the end of last week, and I'm looking at that as a correction of that same move for price to put a higher low in and continue back to highs, which is 109.4, and maybe we go and hit the next big psychological level, which is 110, just above us over there. So yeah, my bias is still pretty bullish with USD. So of course, taking that into consideration, looking at Euro USD and Pound USD and all those guys, I'm expecting downside. So we've had a pretty big move to the upside, I have to admit, with Euro this morning. Really strong move on that last 4-hour candle closure. It did start off pretty correctively, the pullback, and then we kind of zipped to the upside with that last 4-hour candle close. So maybe a little bit more aggressive than I anticipated in terms of the pullback, but the direction for me is still very much to the downside with Euro USD. And if you haven't checked out my weekly analysis, feel free to go and do so. But the idea is that I'm looking for some more downside for Euro. The two areas which I mapped out, which was, of course, the breaking test of the low, which doesn't look like it's playing ball right now, but also the retest of the consolidation slightly above us, kind of like an area of supply, similar to what we've got going on USD, DXY, sorry. Test that area around 1.04, and then we see a big continuation to the downside. So overall for the USD markets, still very bullish on dollar. Markets like this, Euro USD, I do have a very bearish bias. As long as we don't start disrespecting structure, this is the last major lower high. So in theory, I wouldn't turn bullish on Euro until we take out this high. I mean, of course, could be some bullish opportunities, but in terms of my longer term swing bias, we need to take out this high for me to completely change that direction. So yeah, I'm still very bearish on Euro. Looks like we have just about closed above that low there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit of a lower time frame correction and continuation back to that next zone. And then maybe we look at the lower high forming from there. And then we get the continuation to the downside. But overall, pretty bearish on Euro USD, expecting more downside. And targets for this week would just be back at the lows. And then, of course, we can talk about low prices. We've got 1.02 just below us. 1.01 not far away as well. So very bearish on Euro USD. Pound USD, same thing as well. Looks like we pull back into a really healthy zone. I think this is a great place to be looking for some shorts. As you can see, price support taking as resistance. Lovely rejection there. How are we looking on the hourly chart? Okay, nice wick there this morning. Seeing some momentum straight away from that hourly candle. Still very strong close. We need to see how momentum sustains because it's still very early on in that candle formation. But it's come back to a really healthy area. I do think we can see a lot of downside from here. And of course, if that does play out, the area I'm expecting pound to get to is back down at this level of support, the next big daily level, so to speak, at 1.234. So yeah, very bearish on pound USD, expecting more downside, just a retest of the zone in theory, really. Again, if I zoom out, look at the larger structure, this is our last lower high. So again, in theory, even if this level doesn't hold, we could still have a bigger pullback, form another major lower high somewhere, and still see that continuation to the downside. So very bearish on pound. For me to change that bias, I do need price to effectively break through that high. And if I quickly go to the daily chart, we have broken through a longer term trend line as well, which is another indication that the trend is changing. So again, long term trend line first, second, almost third test. We were in that fourth area for potential bounce. Didn't hold in hindsight there. So again, more evidence that price is likely to keep falling. So yeah, pretty bearish on pound, and it has pulled back into a nice area where I do think shorts look good. So I'll definitely keep an eye out on that. Dollar CAD, same old with this one. Not too much of an update since we last spoke because all we've been doing is moving sideways. So it's still very much stuck in a range there. But again, the long-term bias is still very bullish with dollar CAD. I'm still looking for a push to 1.46, which is back at resistance up here. I'm still looking for a move into that area. Broke through very significant levels of structure here as well. So that becomes the next level I expect price to get to. So what I'm looking for dollar CAD is just pullbacks and then more upside. In terms of the way I'm expecting those opportunities to come around, there's kind of two ways I'm looking at. Either price just remains bullish because there's a lot of momentum in the market right now. Of course, we're in a bit of a pause right now, but momentum could definitely spill over to the upside, and you could be looking at a breaking test to continue that momentum back to highs. Or maybe price goes for a bit of a breather, have more of a major pullback, find the next high low further down, which is what I'll be looking for. Preferably the retest of the high here. We do have the 0.618 of the fib in that region? I'm pretty sure. Yes, we do. So this is kind of where I'm looking at if we can have a bit move to the downside, collect some more buyers, and then yeah, that'll be a trade where I can sit in, hopefully take it back to highs, and if I'm lucky, back to 1.464, which is that weekly level we just mentioned. So yeah, dollar CAD, very bullish on as well. Either we break the high of the consolidation and get some retest after, or we have a bigger pullback, then continue. But overall, very, very bullish on dollar CAD. If you take a look at Aussie dollar, this one very bearish, but of course expecting a pullback at some point because pound USD looks like we've had a pullback. Euro USD looks like we've had a pullback. Aussie dollar, maybe we're seeing some signs of pullback could be coming in, but not much really. I've spoken about a few areas where I do think pullbacks will look good towards, and then we can start speaking about some shorts again. The market is still very, very bearish on multiple time frames. As you can see, the successive lower highs, as we can see here, high over there, lower high, so on and so forth. Of course, even you can include prior highs as well. So the goal is, the plan is, I'm all over the place. There we go. The plan is to find the next lower high in this bearish sequence and keep looking to short. I am expecting some key daily, weekly lows to be taken out very, very soon. And we're very close to doing that. If I drag this across, you can see we're very, very close to doing that. So what would be a nice opportunity is if Aussie dollar can have that pullback before we take out that low. Because if we do take out this low, I do expect to see a bigger pullback at some point. Because the market's very bearish. We've been falling for quite a while. We're definitely a little bit overstretched to the downside. So I do think a bigger pullback at some point is on the cards. And if we go and take out this wick low here, I think that could trigger that bigger pullback. So there'll be a lot of liquidity underneath that low. And maybe that could trigger some buyers entering, some sellers taking their profits, and we might see a bit of a reaction. So what would be nice is if we don't take that low, have a pullback, and then take advantage of the move that does go and break out that low. So that would be a nice opportunity. Same thing with New Zealand dollar as well. Except this one's got a bit more space to work with. So if I again expand to the daily chart, there's a key low here on the daily / weekly time frame, which again I'm expecting price to break through. Not as close as Aussie dollar. So again, hope we can get a pullback at some stage. We're looking very, very corrective right now, which again is a sign of a market that is slowing down, running out of momentum. Could be looking at a pullback at some stage. I do like this area here. Nice brief consolidation. There's a smaller region just below us here as well. And we do have a very big zone up here as well, which would be nice for a retest. But either one of these areas could provide that next bearish leg, that next lower high, and see us continue a lot lower. So if I just clone this, mouse is very sensitive. But yeah, any one of these areas could push us to the downside, and we can see the continuation, but still very bearish and longer term, looking for that wick low to be taken out at 0.551. So that is definitely the bias there with New Zealand dollar, but equally, the market is still very, very stretched to the downside. Such a big move. So again, at some point, I do expect a pretty big pullback to form. And I'm guessing once we take out those lows there, maybe these lows too, that's when we'll see the bigger retracement happen. But for now, just looking for continuation of that bearish momentum there, pullback, and another drop. And in terms of gold, we've seen not much really, bit of downside since we last spoke, but nothing which is getting me excited. So overall, I'm pretty quite neutral on gold. Long term, still very bullish, of course. Looking for a push back to highs, but at the moment in time, I'm not seeing an opportunity to trade that apart from the low down here. As I said the past couple of weeks, I wouldn't mind getting long here. Of course, wait for my confirmations and wait for there to be a good trade. But this is very much where I'm looking to take advantage of some gold longs. Anything else just kind of looks like a big range to me. So equal highs there, equal lows here roughly, and the market's kind of just dancing in between. So I can't get a good read of the price action for gold. And again, if something's not looking clear to me, I'm not going to trade it. And that's essentially where I'm at with gold. So gold, I'm just waiting for more candlesticks to print, more information, and hopefully it does clear itself out in the next kind of few days, maybe week or two. Again, no rush. I trade a lot of markets, so whichever market looks good is where my attention will be at. Gold right now doesn't really have my attention because it just looks like a big range to me. And in terms of silver I do like though. Silver I do like. I can get good read of silver and what silver's trying to do, and hopefully what it will do. But again, I'm still looking at this as being a last major bullish leg from that low to the high. I'm treating this as a pullback, maybe some type of bull flag correction. Looks like we're forming a bit of a double bottom at this area. So if we can start breaking some structure to the upside, let me get rid of this. Start forming some higher highs and higher lows, that would be brilliant. And then I'll be looking for the next opportunity to get into a trade and trade that to the upside. My plan is to try and catch the higher lows on the way up. So yeah, silver looks pretty good. It looks like we're forming the low. I actually missed this trade here from last week. It occurred during my hours off the chart, so I wasn't there to take it, but not too worried because my bias for silver is a pushback to the high there. And then most likely will be an opportunity on the way there. So as long as I can catch that one, hopefully I can catch that one and ride that to the upside. But yeah, still very bullish on silver. Looking at this as a nice double bottom. So what I'm waiting for is a break of that neckline, break of that structure, and some higher lows to follow afterwards, which again I have to be patient for. But yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with USD. And hopefully that can develop this week, because if it does, could be looking at some nice shorts on pound, maybe some longs on silver, maybe some longs on dollar CAD as well, dollar yen too, which I'll get into in a moment. Where was I? Okay, so I'll go through Philip's request, Shadrach. Okay, I'll go through Euro Yen as well. You got some longs, nice, and USD, nice. Okay, we'll go through those. Ping 1337, what is up? Okay, 3-step challenge. What does 0% max daily loss mean? No, that means there is no max daily loss on the 3-step, because there's the max overall drawdown, which is the only drawdown rule. Of course, you do have the floating loss rule, but that's a soft rule. The only hard rule you have to respect in the 3-step is the overall drawdown, but there is no daily drawdown. If you go visit the FAQs, it should explain that in detail, but yeah, that's what it means. Or you can open a ticket on Discord. So yeah, King just went through Aussie dollar. If there's a particular time frame you want me to go through, let me know. What's up, Will? Welcome to the stream. Happy 2025. Right back at you, my friend. Hope you had a good New Year's. Jay, what's up? I appreciate it, my man. Right back at you. Hope you're doing well. Manzondi, anything news to look out for? Actually, I'll go through the economic calendar in a moment, actually. It's a good question. What's up, Mo? Welcome to the stream. Amit, what's up? Gold. I just literally went through gold, but I'll go through it again. There's not a lot of talking points in gold for me anyway, because the price action looks horrendous. I'm quickly going to go through the economic calendar, then I'll go through some requests. So this week is the first full week back on the charts where we don't have any major holidays, so could be interesting. We did kind of end last week pretty strong for a lot of momentum, especially in USD. But Monday, today, we already had some euro news and pound news that has gone. We do have CAD PMI later on today at 2:30. That's about it for today. Tuesday, okay, CPI for euro, 10 o'clock, just as I start the stream tomorrow. That could be interesting. Unemployment rate at the same time as well, 10 as well. That could be interesting. So could see a bit of movement for euro early tomorrow. And then we've got jolts for USD tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and PMI as well, both for USD. Wednesday, we've got ADP employment trends for USD at 1:15. I'll keep an eye on that. Oh, FOMC minutes. Didn't see that at 7 o'clock. Of course, it's not the actual rate decision, but FOMC minutes is kind of a hit and miss. Sometimes it does move the market. Sometimes it actually does absolutely nothing. It depends what is said, of course. But yeah, FOMC minutes is definitely something to keep an eye on. 7 o'clock on Wednesday. This is all UK time, by the way. And then Thursday, jobless claims for USD 1:30 afternoon. And Friday, Swiss unemployment rate, probably going to keep an eye on that, 6:45. CAD employment change as well, 1:30. Then, of course, you got your lovely NFP as well for USD at 1:32, non-farm payroll, CAD unemployment rate at the same time. So, yeah, there's a few to keep an eye on. I'll say CPI tomorrow for Euro unemployment rate as well. JOLTS for USD, FOMC minutes on Wednesday afternoon, and then of course NFP Friday. I'll say those are the big ones to keep an eye on. Okay, so let me go through some requests before I forget. Okay, so I've never looked at this before, but it was the first time for everything. Okay, so you said you got a sell position. 1.08. Okay, let me go down to the lower time frames. 1.0876. Okay, so somewhere around here. Let me just mark it for reference. And then your target is 0.8375. Okay, so you're looking for a decent move here. 0.837. Okay, so let me go to the daily chart. Let me just get a scope of what is going on here. Okay, so yeah, it's a nice area to short, actually. It's a nice area to short. Again, this move here is pretty impulsive. It could be the start of a continuation back to highs. But again, the way you got to look at the chart is, where do the sellers get in? Where do the buyers get in? Predominantly at lower highs is where you're going to be looking to short the market. If the market is giving you lower lows and lower highs, which is the vicinity prices in right now. So this is definitely your bearish territory. And of course, if you're looking to buy, this is kind of the areas you're looking to buy from. This is where you've seen momentum before. Good place to get involved again. So in terms of the location to sell, I think it's a great place to short. If market is going to respect structure and continue bearish, this is the place for it. And of course, I think that's a healthy target to have as well. So yeah, actually, I like the location. I like where you got your targets. It makes a lot of sense. In terms of the price action of the rejection, a little bit stale because we are moving sideways, but that is a good sign as well because there was a lot of momentum here to the upside. So the fact that we are now flat is kind of a good sign. It means that the buyers and sellers are now kind of in balance. Of course, which way we break out is the question. Are we going to break to the upside or break to the downside? Of course, you will find out when it happens. But the fact that the market's slowing down is a good sign. But it would be nice to see kind of price show evidence breaking to the downside. And that's something I would look for in terms of entries because now I know that the momentum is in my favor. Of course, nothing's perfect. And of course, means getting in a little bit later with a slightly bigger stop loss. So the risk reward won't be as good as entering, up there. But of course, there's pros and cons with everything. But yeah, great place. Market's really showing signs that it's stalling. I'd say if you can clear the lows here at 1.05, you're looking good. At least see a push back down to some of these areas where you could look to secure some partials or trade a stop. And then, yeah, I would agree with that target, but down in this area, this is where all the momentum came from for the buyers. So that would make a lot of sense to bank your profit there as well. But yeah, I reckon good place, of course. If it does go and take out some structure, so got the high over there. If it does go and break through that, then yeah, the market is likely just going to continue higher anyway. At that point, you want to be out the market and looking for your next setup. But Bristol looks good, great location. I like how the market is moving sideways. Like I said, it would be great if you can break the low. That would be a nice indication that the price is about to drop. But overall, great place for it. Let me take a look at Euro Yen for Shadrach. You're in some longs. Yeah, I was looking at Euro Yen this morning, actually. I was eyeing up some short-term buys because I'm still looking for that longer-term sell for a few of the yen pairs, which is right back at the highs. That's where I want to get involved, similar to what I was doing with CAD yen a couple of weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago now. I'm still looking for a push back to that area, and then hopefully a really big sell opportunity. So that's really where my focus is with the yen pairs. But because we still do have that bullish structure, which I've been talking about for a while now, that is still what's keeping me bullish in the short term as we trend to the upside. Structure is my guiding compass. If the market's making higher highs and higher lows, that's the direction I'm going to be looking to anticipate the market continuing. Not always trading in, because sometimes structure might be bullish, but it's not really in a healthy place to actually buy. So I'd wait for it to shift bearish. But I wouldn't be looking to sell just yet. And yeah, as long as the market keeps up this bullish structure with the higher highs and higher lows, came back to a really nice area last week, tapped into this range here, nice rejection down the 4 hour. Looks like we really picked up momentum this morning. So yeah, in terms of euro yen, I think there's a very good chance we at least get back to the high here. But I think there's a very good chance we get back to the high here at 166. Where's your targets? 164.405. So that's pretty much back at the high here. So yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a really nice place for a target. Yeah, I would expect price to get there. We're kind of already 3/4 of the way there anyway. Momentum looks good. I think there's a very strong case for us to continue that momentum, at least back into the high. And like I said, I do think we get there. But what makes me have a bit of confidence that the market is likely to turn from this area and sell off is the fact that this bullish move is still very corrective, not really showing signs of aggressive reversal behavior. We're not really seeing aggressive momentum. It's still very corrective, having deep pullbacks, not the sign of a market that's going to continue to trend forever, and likely going to turn around at some point. And when it comes back to a major high like this, I think that's a good area where we could sell off. And of course, I'm still looking for the continuation of that big drop in July. This to me still looks like a correction of that. So I'm trying to get my shorts in around here, nice stop loss above, and see if I can take advantage of a nice drop to the downside. So that very much is still my plan there for euro yen. But in terms of the immediate price action, still very bullish. And I do think we can push up. I was actually hoping price can come back, retest the low, and then I can find an entry there. But it looks like it's taken off without me. But yeah, euro yen, I do still see more upside. We'll go take a look at your second position in euro NZD. So euro NZD, 1.83389, stop loss 1.82. Let me mark on the chart, 833. So somewhere around there. Oh no, 89. Okay, that's bang on the money there. And your stop loss, I would manage just underneath the lows, 8237s. Somewhere around there. And take profit, 85438. So basically back at the highs. So yeah, I mean, I like that trade as well. Actually, let me take that back. I like the momentum, but the only thing with UNSD which I don't like is the higher time frame market structure. Because overall, to me, the market is pretty much in a range, and now we're trading at the high of the range. So it's not that we can't break through the high and can continue, and I think that's probably the likely move, to be honest. But because of what we're doing, rejecting range high, rejecting range low, and fluctuation between the two, as we can see here, as we can see here, as we can see down here, and almost there as well. That's not the best place for me to be looking to buy it. Of course, I am looking at slightly bigger trades than you, but in terms of finding an area where I want to buy or sell, this is not the place, especially after seeing a very strong bearish engulfing candle at that same level. So in terms of buys, I would avoid taking buys there. Of course, I'm not trying to talk you out taking your trade. I'm sure you've got great reasons for entering the trade and you're following a plan. At the end of the day, if you're managing your risks, worst case that happens is you take a loss. which isn't really a big deal. But in terms of location, not the biggest fan of because of being close to the high of the range. And number two, after seeing such a strong drop on that last, well, that was Thursday. On Thursday, that does not give me a lot of confidence to keep buying USD. Again, it's all probabilities. We could still very much push to the upside, break the high, and continue. But based on that evidence, it's not a trade that I look to take. I like the Euro Yen setup a lot. Following market structure, momentum's in that direction, not really coming to any big areas of resistance where you expect price to turn around. USD, we're at a big level here. So yeah, not a fan of buying at that area. So yeah, for that reason, I wouldn't look to take that trade. But like I said, I'm sure you got your reasons of why you took it. But of course, I've just got to share with you my opinion. But Euro Yen, I do like a lot. Okay, so I'll go through gold. Okay, I'll go through dollar yen as well. I'll go through like all the yen pairs together. Yeah, a lot of news this week for USD. Euro CHF. Okay, I'll go through USD CHF. I'm still shorting that one. So I'll go through that as well. All right, no problem, Shadrach. Oh, no problem, my man. Best of luck with both positions. Okay, so we'll go through gold. I'll go through gold, my trade in Euro CHF, and of course I break down Euro CHF as well. Then we'll just go through the USD pairs all together because they're still very interesting. I mean, the yen price, sorry. They're still very interesting, the yen pairs, and I'm still getting ready for some big sells, which are not quite there yet. So yeah, in terms of gold, I don't really know what to say. The price action just all over the place. We've got a lovely, strong low down here. Of course, you've got the all-time high there as well, and now the market's just been moving sideways between those two major highs. So of course, you've got equal highs there, equal lows there, excuse me, and our price is kind of just bouncing in between the two. So in terms of direction, which is something I need to have clarity in forms of a trend mostly, there isn't really any of that happening really. We kind of just about took out highs there of that wick. We've taken out lows there as well. Now we're kind of putting some very sluggish bullish structure in at play right now. Are we going to see a higher low possibly? Is price going to fall down on itself? Is this a correction of this move here and price is going to continue that back to the low? Maybe. I don't really have a good read of gold, so I won't look to try and waste my time in trying to pick something that's not really there for me. Like I said, I do like the lows down here because I know I'm at the extreme. I can know if I can get an entry in that area, I can get a relatively safe stop loss, and my risk reward will be looking good should price move in my direction. Other than that, I don't really see much in gold. Maybe in the lower time frames, you guys are looking at something. If so, let me know. But even in the lower charts, I just don't like the price action as well. It's just range bound, and nothing normally good comes from range bound markets unless you're going to like short the high of the range or buy the low. Then I don't really see an effective way to buy down there. But a short from here could look good. Solid rejection like we had previously. Could catch a nice short there. But that's the only trade there I would say that looks half decent. Anything else, not a big fan of. Okay, so let me go through Euro CHF. I'll squeeze in Euro CAD for Ahmed there as well. So yeah, Euro CHF I'm currently in, hasn't been moving that particularly great. It's just been all up and down, up and down. It started off the week pretty bullish with that candle there. Now it's more or less at my entry price, but in a little bit of profit there. But the analysis with Euro CHF is that I'm just looking for the continuation of the trend, looking for structure to continue, nothing more than that. If price does go and break the highs, now anticipate a bigger pullback. You can see I've highlighted these major swing highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm looking to anticipate number 6 forming and a continuation back to the lows. You can see every time we do have a drop, we keep spiking down in this area. My goal for the trade is to try and catch another one of these spikes back into the low. And that's why I'm looking to take my profit. I'll be looking to trail stops because I don't know how far price can go, but I can see there's a lot of evidence of buyers stepping into the market very aggressively here. So that's definitely the first area where I want to make sure I do bank a healthy amount of positions there. But overall, we come back into the lower high here. We formed a really aggressive double top, really aggressive wick to the upside there. And I was looking for a shift in momentum. The only thing I don't like about the trade is that the entry was a little bit late. Not in terms of late in terms of when I should enter, but just late in terms of I wish my entry is probably a little bit closer to the zone there so I can maximize my risk reward and probably get to break even a little bit quicker. So yeah, that would have been a slightly better if that was the case. But hey, I don't have control of that. I can only trade my plan, and that's a bit, and that's all I can do really. But yeah, I found the entry there and a little bit of profit, but we'll see how that trade continues. But again, the analysis is that monthly, weekly, daily, all the major time frames are pointing down if we zoom out. So if I can hold swings in that direction, I know I've got a good chance of catching a move, especially if I'm right back at a prior high. If we were to go and break through this high here on the left and say we do something like this, break structure, then that's of course going to shift my bias to at least bullish in the short term, because I'll be looking at a bigger pullback, which I did highlight last week. I'm looking at these major highs here, one over there, second over there. Potentially could see price break structure and give us a bit of a bullish trend back to this area. Then maybe we get the big third sell I'm looking for. So there is that possibility for a slightly bigger move to the upside. And then, of course, a much bigger move to the downside, which is still something I'll be interested in if we do end up breaking structure here. So that's another setup I'm looking for, but it could take a while to form. And I probably will look at some counter trend trades to the upside uh, along the way. I won't just be looking for the sells in that case. But for now, still respecting structure. So yeah, looking for a swing to the downside for Euro CHF. We'll see how that gets going. Let me go through EuroCAD and then we'll go through the yen pairs. So yeah, EuroCAD, bit of a weird one to be fair. I wasn't expecting this to sell off so hard. And same thing with PoundCAD last week too. Really aggressive sells to the downside. Again, not a fan of EuroCAD in all honesty, because again, look at the price action on the daily chart. What on earth are we doing here? I have no idea. It's kind of like a very slight uptrend, but it's more or less a ranging market. And again, someone who looks at market structure a lot, looks at higher highs and higher lows, lower lows and lower highs, you're always going to find it a lot difficult to maneuver in price action like this. In these kind of scenarios, you want to be looking to sell high and buy low, really. That's the most important thing. But yeah, not a big fan of the price action for EuroCAD, but it does look like we're starting to put some lower highs in, so maybe things are shifting. Got the high over there, got a bunch of equal highs, but they're lower than that high there. Another big drop, breaking structure. That looks like we're putting another lower high there as well. So it looks like we're kind of slowly pushing down. I don't like the breaking retest idea here, really. It's too kind of intricate. Stop loss above here just seems a little bit exposed to me, but hey, it could play out. So yeah, effectively for EuroCAD, I wouldn't waste my time with it personally. But there was such a big drop there, a lot of momentum there from last week. We might see a retest of the structure and a continuation back to the low. So that's kind of the best I can make out of EuroCAD. But in all honesty, the price action is not great. And yeah, I wouldn't look to personally trade. Let me know what you're looking at on EuroCAD. Maybe looking at something on the low charts, but not a big fan of the price action. Again, a lot of trading is not necessarily about taking great trades every single trade. A lot of trading is just about not taking bad ones, really. Because once you've been trading for a while, you can spot a good trade but then you take a good trade and you take 5 poor trades, and you take a good trade, take 5 poor trades. If you could just not take the 5 poor trades, you'd be so much better off. I'm not saying every good trade you take is going to be a winner. That's another thing to look at as well. Just because it's a good trade doesn't mean you'll be a winner, but a good trade in terms of stacking probabilities in your favor, having good confidences, and overall just be within the market in terms of context, in terms of being in line with the market. If you could just take those good trades, not excellent, not crazy, just good trades, you'd be so much better off for it, and kind of getting rid of those kind of rubbish trades. But he said short on the hourly there, Ahmed. Yeah, like I said, it's in a nice area, kind of having a breaking test of the low there. We did have a big drop last week, so it could just be a continuation of that. Lovely momentum there. This could be a kind of correction of it. Looks like from a nice little double top. Strong rejection on that wick there. We might get some nice follow through back to the low there. So not a bad trade. It's just conditions are very, very poor. If this was in like a trending market to the downside, I would like it a lot because there's nothing wrong with a breaking retest. Breaking retests are great opportunities. I trade breaking retest as well. There's nothing wrong with a good breaking retest. So the concept of the trade makes a lot of sense. It's just in regards to what the market is doing, it's just not really in line, which is what I don't like about it. Because if you think about it, breaking retests work well when there's momentum in the market, because essentially we're coming back to an area where we prior had a bounce to, and because there's a lot of momentum, a lot of sellers, we react and continue. If the market is very flat and we're kind of just doing this a lot, then breaking retest won't have the same effect because the market is not really respecting those kind of intra levels. It's more focused on the extremes, the major highs, which is why I always say if you're looking to get involved in the range, focus on the highs, focus on the lows, because that's where the market's likely to turn. Looking at breaking retests like this, for example, the win rate of those sort of opportunities compared to something like this, when you got a nice trend backing you up, is yeah, this could be a lot lower. So yeah, that's what I don't like about it. But yeah, overall the market is very, very flat. Yeah, like I said, the breaking test makes sense, but it's just in context with the market, it's very, very choppy. Anyway, I'll go through the yen pair. So let me go through dollar yen. So it looks like this one's having some fun right now, looking pretty bullish. So this one reminds me a lot of what dollar cat is doing in terms of we've had a really big push to the upside. Now the market's pretty flat. I do expect to see more upside, but it's either kind of two scenarios happening. Either we kind of just break the high, there's a lot of momentum in the market, we break the high, then we find some continuations afterwards. Of course, looking for the break and retest and then find some longs there. Or the market rejects the high, we have a break to the downside, and we have a bit of a breather, form the next high low somewhere, and then have the continuation, which is kind of what I'm hoping for, because we've had a lovely push to the upside from this low, breaking highs there on the left, and now I'm looking for the next high low. And it would be nice if you can come back, retest this area here, retest the 50 of the fib as well. And that's really where I want to find my entries to hold on to a really nice swing trade, because I know if I can get entry here, there's a good chance I can swing it back to the high. And then if I'm lucky, because I'll be trading stops, maybe I can take it back to this higher here as well, 161.643. That is really the long-term plan there with dollar yen. So very, very bullish on dollar yen, looking at a lot more upside. The two opportunities that do look interesting is a break of the high and a retest of that area, and then the continuation back to 161.6, which is the highs up there. Or if price does break to the downside out of that range, collect some more buys around 154, look for entries in that area, and again, of course, swing it back to the high at least, and potentially back to that high there as well, which is the beauty of trading stops, because you don't really have that target to say, okay, I'm going to turn around now. Price might just keep going and you just keep trailing. But yeah, I would suggest that's a good target to have as well, 157.9. But yeah, overall for dollar yen, very bullish. It's the only yen pair which I'm kind of actively looking to really buy for the long run. I think USD has a lot to say about that, but yeah, it's looking very bullish, taking out highs, forming higher lows, still a lot of healthy bullish momentum present. I'm bullish on USD on the DXY anyway. So if USD does have a nice move to the upside this week, I'm sure it'll probably take dollar yen with it. What's up, Lauda? It's a new year. Yes, it is. Happy New Year. Hope you well. Hope you had a good New Year's. But yeah, it is definitely a new year. Hopefully, we see a more expansive year in terms of price action than 2024. Yen pairs did have it good, I have to say, but USD pairs have been very, very flat. So I'm kind of hoping we kind of expand a little bit more, see some more opportunities, see some more trends will be nice. And I think we will. Dark Sean, 5-minute opportunity on GJ. Okay, I'm about to go take a look at GJ anyway. I'll make sure to take a look at the 5-minute as well. Oh, didn't get you 70. Okay, did you close the? Oh, it has market closed, but profit still a profit. Yeah, again, yeah, you're always going to get your 70 pip move always, but like you said, a profit still a profit. Can't knock that too much there. But yeah, I'll go £2 yen. I'm gonna go through all the yen pairs, but I will take a look at the 5-minute chart there for you. So yeah, I was speaking about some buys as well when we last looked at GJ. I said as long as we don't take out this low here, that keeps me bullish on pound yen. Same thing like euro yen. We're still very consistent with the higher highs and higher lows. So as you can see, very consistent with the higher lows there. Came back into the area, respected. Nice push to the upside. And of course, pound yen and euro yen are very similar markets. So if one of them is going to respect the low, there's a good chance both of them will do that. And we did see that happen with pound yen and a lovely move to the upside in the past few hours. And I do think we'll probably continue back to the highs here, which is 199.5, 199.6. That is where I'm looking for pound yen to get to for, again, potentially a really big sell to the downside. That's the longer term swing trade I'm eyeing up. Again, got a lovely impulse to the downside here. Looking at this as a correction of that move, push back to the high, and then, of course, the continuation of that move there. That's really my plan. So we'll see if that comes into play. But at the moment, still seeing bullish structure. Successive high lows came back to respect this low here, yeah, last week, and we respected it very well. So yeah, now I do expect us to keep pushing at least back to the highs here, but then we've just got the highs there just above. So yeah, more upside for pound yen, but still looking at a big sell. In terms of the 5-minute chart, did I look at the 5-minute chart on Friday? Because I think I did. Yeah, because I remember someone speaking about some buys on the 5-minute on pound yen. So I'm guessing that was you, Darshan. But yeah, we did eventually see that happen. Nice high lows building up as we did break to the upside. I remember we were speaking about the range here, and price did eventually manage to break out of that and really let fly there. And yeah, from Sunday open up, we kind of continue that momentum very well. So yeah, I mean, really nice push. I mean, in terms of pullbacks for pound yen, I do think there's more upside. I'm probably coming to areas where some sellers will be lurking, try and push price back down again. But I think if we can come back to some of these areas, I think this is like a really nice place to get long and continue that momentum to the upside. So should you see a bit of a pullback like this, I think that's a nice opportunity to look to keep buying. So yeah, I'm still very bullish on pound yen. On the low time frames and the higher as well. Oh. But yeah, seeing some nice healthy momentum this morning on a few of the yen pairs, so I do think we'll keep pushing. Okay, so I'll go for the rest of the yen pairs. Excuse me. Charles, yes, we'll take a look at pound Aussie for you. I'll go do that after the yen pairs. Manzondi. No, I think I have to pass on that, Manzondi. I'm not interested, but thanks anyway. Okay, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. It's coming back to me. Exactly what I'm looking at. Thanks for confirming. No problem, man. But yeah, I do think price is likely to continue going to the upside. So if you're looking at getting involved with pound yen, I'll stay with the buys. Of course, now I wouldn't look to buy because this is definitely an area of supply where we did have a really big drop last week. So we don't be buying directly into that, or at least don't want to be the first person to that anyway. But yeah, a bit of a pullback, find some more buyers, could be a nice opportunity to break through. Or if price, let's say, remains bullish and does break through, then we could look at some pullbacks and then try and catch the next move after that. But either which way, looking for a pushback to 198.810. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound yen. In terms of some of the other yen pairs, so CAD yen, I do like as well. Still looking to take this one to the downside again. Really big drop there in July, and again, still looking at this being the correction of that. Push back to the high and look for a big sell. That's still very much on my radar. This is where I sold from a few weeks ago. So if it gets back there again, I'm looking for the exact same trade, and hopefully this time we do see the real continuation of that. But of course, in the meantime, everything still looks pretty bullish. We had the equal lows here. Price respected it very well. Formed a higher high, higher low. Again, another higher high. Looks like price is just about pinched the high right now. I did say a nice pullback into this area would look good. And I said if you have a deeper correction, keep an eye on this range here as well for some buys. Kind of similar to what pound yen did. Pound yen had a really big pullback right into the low before continuing. And then it did push on. But yeah, I do like CAD yen to the upside. Looks like we're about to break the high. So the next best opportunity for CAD yen might be something like this. Strong break of the high. Then looking for your pullbacks afterwards, retest. And then looking to see if you can swing that back to the highs again at 111.5. But overall, still very bullish. Maybe that high low has been formed already, and now the price is about to break. So the plan will be wait for the next higher high, higher low, take it back into resistance, and then I'll start looking for some sells again for a big drop to the downside. But yeah, CAD yen, pound yen, euro yen, those are the three yen pairs I really do like in terms of those long-term shorts. Really corrective moves to the upside. So again, I don't expect this to last for forever. I do think eventually we'll hit that big move, and that's the area I'll look for it to happen from. Again, confirmations are very important. I'm not going to jump straight in. If I do see signs of price, breaking the high and continuing, obviously I'm not going to jump into some shorts, but I do see some wicks, some strong shifts of momentum, strong bearish candle closes on the 4-hour chart. 100% I'll be looking to see if I can get involved. And in terms of some of the other yen pairs, Aussie yen, I think this was looking pretty bullish as well. Nice move this morning. Again, it hasn't really broken through resistance yet, but if it does, I do think there could be some really nice buys on the back of that. At this moment in time, we're just slightly putting some high lows. One over there, second there. Potentially, this could be the third. Of course, if we break the high, it will be the third. And then, of course, you can look for some pullbacks afterwards. That's your prior high there. Of course, retest and support, find some higher lows. And then, of course, you're looking to see if you can swing that back to highs, which is at 102, pretty much on the dot there. So again, for Aussie yen, same thing as well in the higher time frames, big drops. Still looking at this as a correction for, again, a big continuation. But first, probably see move back to the high before the drop. So again, buys in the meantime look good. Trying to catch the next higher low, ride it back to 102 or wherever. And then I do like the sells from there afterwards. But yeah, still very bullish on Aussie yen on the more immediate price action, just like euro yen, just like pound yen, just like CAD yen, even like dollar yen as well. It does look like the setup is going to keep pushing to the upside. In terms of New Zealand yen, pretty much the same thing as Aussie yen as well, just maybe a little bit far behind. Effectively, we've got a ranging market here, but if we can have a strong break to the upside, breaking out the resistance here, we can look for the next pullback afterwards. So you got the first low, second high low, of course, not confirmed yet. Still need price to break the high, but should it do that, create a higher high, looking for the next higher low. And again, if I expand to the daily chart, looking to see if we can swing it back to the high here. Then again, that's where I'm looking to take my shorts from for a big swing to the downside. So the plan really for the yen pairs, see if you can buy it up to sell it back down. Of course, if you do see some big breaks of these areas of structure, then I'll rethink things. But hey, until then, that is my bias there. So again, massive drop there. Looking at this as the correction for a continuation and a move back down. But yeah, the yen pairs do look good. Some yen pairs are a little bit further ahead in terms of their bullish behavior. Pairs like Aussie and New Zealand yen haven't really broke the highs yet for some pullbacks. So I would look at that in a lot of detail in terms of opportunities. Looks like Euro yen's kind of already doing its thing and ready in full motion. So yeah, that boat is kind of sailed. Pound yen equally as well. Yeah, that had a nice continuation as well. So again, you're probably looking at some intraday pullbacks, trying to catch the low there. I think that boat is sailed. CAD yen, however, if we can catch a nice break and retest of the high, I think that could be a great opportunity. Aussie yen, a nice break and retest of the high there. I think that can be a great opportunity there too. New Zealand yen, same thing there. Break and retest of the high. I think that's a great opportunity. And dollar yen as well. A break and retest of the high up there. Or if you come a little bit deeper, retest some lows there, look equally as good. But yeah, the buys look good right now for the yen pairs. But I'm still keeping one eye on those sells, even though I don't think they'll set up for a few days. But when it does set up, I want to make sure I'm there to take it. Okay, so where was I? Afternoon, Antonio. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I'll go take a look at pound Aussie, Charles, for you. Euro USD. Okay, I'll go through pound Aussie first. Then we'll take a look at Euro USD for you, Antonio. No problem. Universe, welcome to the stream. Well, actually, I swing trade Universe. So yeah, I normally find my entries on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I look to hold them. I look to trail stops as well. But yeah, I could kind of average in terms of my winners about a week, sometimes a lot more. Yeah, I focus on swing trading, but I do look at lower time frame charts. Some people here day trade and focus on the lower time frame, so I will drop to the lower time frame, share my thoughts there as well. For me specifically, I focus on more swings. Henrique, what is up? Took 1 year from trading to focus on business. Hey, appreciate it. Hope everything's good. Thank you. Hope everything's good with you. Yeah, glad to see you back on the streams. But again, that's the funny thing about trading. It's not going anywhere. You know, you're not, even though you missed the lives, you're not necessarily missing out on a lot. Taking breaks to focus on other things can actually be a blessing as well. Because trading with a lot going on sometimes isn't the best, because you need to be very focused on the charts mentally, because in terms of fear, greed, desperation, that can bleed into the markets and make some really bad mistakes there. So yeah, taking some time off for whatever reason is normally the best way to do it, because trading with a lot of baggage isn't the way. But glad to have you back on the streams, Henrique. Glad to have you back. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good though. Thank you for asking. Okay, so I'll go through pound Aussie before I forget, and then I'll go through Euro USD. So yeah, pound Aussie, I still do like the buys. We're trading at some major highs, but the current structure in the 4-hour chart is still pretty bullish. But there is that possibility for the bigger pullback, which we must not forget. So these are the major highs in the daily chart, which are great, but we've just taken out and formed some new highs. You can look what happens after we do take up the highs. We do get a bigger pullback. So that possibility for price to do something like this before maybe continuing is pretty high. So you got to be careful with that with pound Aussie. So I did say last week that if we did get a retest of this low here, I would long. We didn't get that. Price just broke straight through. So I'm looking for us to find some support here, and then possibly I might look for some longs in that area. But if we break structure, which is this low, this is the low which gave us the high here. So if we were to go and break structure, that will completely invalidate the this 4-hour bullish structure. And at that point, I'm looking at a bigger pullback on the daily chart, which we just mentioned. And then maybe we find a higher low somewhere further down. So if I was to whip out a fib from the low here to the high, could be looking at a pullback kind of anywhere in this area here. But in the meantime, Structure's still intact in the 4-hour chart, so still focus on the buys. And if we can confirm support, it's already on the 4-hour chart. If we can confirm support in this area, I think that could end up being a nice buy. But it was a really aggressive sell last week, so I want to see some really strong evidence of price failing at the lows. So a lot of wicks, big bullish engulfing candles, really showing that momentum is shifting again, because this was such a heavy sell. And this isn't really giving me a lot of confidence that price is about to push to the upside. It's very sluggish, very corrective. Haven't really seen any kind of meaningful wick rejections or strong bullish candle closures. So if you can come back, respect support again, give me some really strong wicks, strong bullish candle, bullish engulfing candle, then yeah, there could be some nice longs, and this could just be like a really big kind of bull flag pattern. So yeah, that's your first correction drop, and then the continuation. But yeah, I need to see some more evidence there for the buys. But yeah, still looking at longs as long as we respect the low here. If not, then we're probably going to get a much bigger pullback. What's up, MD? Good evening to you. It's still good morning for me, but good evening. Hope you're well. Yes, I will go through some Litecoin for you. I'll take a look at Euro USD for Antonio first, and then we'll go through that for you. Okay, so yes, I do swing. I don't do limit orders. I only use market execution, market orders. So I take trades at current price. Yeah, I do have a Forex education playlist, which just kind of explains how I trade. Although the past year I have shifted because, of course, I've been on YouTube for I think maybe 4 years now. But originally I was trading the hourly chart, but then last year I shifted to the 4-hour. It's the same way, same concept, same style, same everything. It's just entries on the 4-hour chart, and I'm holding my trades a little bit longer now. But in terms of the theory and how I trade, it's all the same way. So if you go to my Forex education playlist on my YouTube channel, it has a bunch of videos about how I trade, and there's a lot of trade recaps as well, which I'll be doing more of this year. So look out for that, ladies and gentlemen. But also, I do have a free course, Elevating Traders Academy as well, completely free to join, which again goes through how I trade and risk management and all that in abundance as well. So if you go to elevatingtraders.com, click on the Academy section, you can find that there too. Okay, yeah, I can take a look at it for you. What is that? The Avgo Broadcom stock. I haven't even heard of that, to be honest. No problem, Charles. Happy to help. I'll go through your USD first, Litecoin, then I'll take a look at your stock. Okay, so Euro USD. So yeah, I'm looking at more downside for Euro. There's 2 levels which I mentioned last week and on my weekly analysis as well, which I like the downside from. So this is of course a last major high, which gave us the new low, and that was of course a last low there as well. So I've talked about the retest of this low. Doesn't look like price is respecting that. So I'm more focused on the range here. Lovely range from last week. Really strong drop to the downside. That's where a lot of momentum came from. So in my book, this looks like a healthy area to find some shorts. Maybe tag the 50 as well. That'd be a great added confluence as well. And then we can capture shorts back to the low there as well. Because again, if I expand on the weekly chart, and we'll take a look at the DXY in a second, it does look like Euro USD has committed to the downside now, breaking through support there. Because essentially, Euro USD was ranging for about 2 years on the weekly chart between highs over there and lows there. Now it looks like price is committed to the downside. So I'm looking for a trend to form now for Euro, which could end up taking us all the way back down to lows here at 0.96. So again, I'm not looking to trade that one go, of course not. But if I can find some lower highs, my plan for Euro USD for the foreseeable future is to keep short and lower highs as long as bearish structure remains. If we start breaking structure, of course, I'll reanalyze again and see what happens next. But the plan is pull back some more downside. So yeah, this area looks good at 1.04, 1.042. I would keep a close eye on that range for some more downside. If you quickly flick to the DXY, I'm looking at the exact same thing, but just buys on that range there for continuation back to the DXY highs, which is at 109.5. Then I've also briefly talked about 110 there, big psychological level. Could see some new highs around there as well. But yeah, dollar, I'm expecting more upside. It's done the exact same thing as euro in terms of a very confident break out of this long-term range. This is the weekly chart, massive range there. We've finally broken that to the upside. So I'm looking at us coming back to that next zone at 113. And that very much is the plan there. So any move to the downside for the dollar, I'm treating as a pullback. Of course, as long as we respect structure. This is our last major swing low. So we have to kind of break through that for me to completely invalidate my bullish bias. But for now, still looking at pullbacks and more upside. So that's kind of my take on euro. Keep an eye on that zone there at 1.04200, was it? Yeah, 1.04, 1.041 in that area. And Litecoin, let's take a look. Let's see what this guy is doing. Okay, so okay, so we're in a nice place for a short now. I don't think this is the chart I normally look at. We're in a nice place for a short. Is it Coinbase? Yeah, Coinbase. So yeah, last time we spoke, we were talking about the lower highs that we're placing. So we had the high over there, big drop, high over there, big drop. Now in an area again where we could see another lower high and possibly another big drop. So yeah, I would be short bias here for Litecoin, 100%. I think this is a great place to short. Nice little range there as well, coming back to an area of supply. I think that's a nice entry candle as well on the 4-hour chart there too. And that could be the high that does give us the push back to the lows. As long as we don't take out the zone, I'm looking at a push to the downside. So look at double tops, break a structure, depends what time frame you're looking to get involved with. But this is the area where I would be looking for sales, at least back to that first low, and of course possibly back to the lows there as well. I'm not a fan of the structure to the upside, but yeah, to me, I'll still be looking at sales at least back to this area. And then if you really do sell off, we can go a lot further. But yeah, the plan is try and catch the next lower high and the next wave to the downside. Okay, we'll go through dollar CAD as well, Antonio. I appreciate it, Universe. Appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the content, by the way, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It does really help out. I do really appreciate it. If you're finding the content useful, informative, educational, drop a like, show some love. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. I'm live every Monday, Tuesday, every weekday. Yeah, every weekday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you're free, pop in, say hi. We do not bite. But yeah, I'll go through dollar CAD for you, Antonio. But first, let me go through that stock for Manzondi. What's this? Avgo. Let me know if this is the correct one, by the way, because I have not looked at this before, so I could be looking at the wrong chart. But let me know if this is the right one. I mean, if this is the right one, it is soaring to the upside right now. Absolutely soaring. So yeah, everything is looking very bullish. Are you talking about just in terms of just buying and holding, really? I'd probably say this is not the. Again, it's always tricky to say it's not the best time because as soon as you say that, normally is the best time. But I will look to, of course, buy dips. So we've got a massive gap there. It would be nice if that gap was to fill, and then we look to buy on top of that because this looks like it was a very solid level of resistance. Price was respecting on many occasions. One over there, second, third, fourth. Massive gap to the upside the past few days. So if you were to come back, fill the gap, retest that structure, to me that looks like a great place for continuation and more upside. And to buy and hold, take it back to highs and maybe a lot higher there too as well. But this is not showing a lot of evidence of slowing down really. It looks like it's kind of picked up pace in terms of like exponentially. So yeah, I'll be looking at some corrections or just looking to find the next dip really, because right now we've had a big push and now we're kind of just sideways. So let's see some downside momentum and then let's go against that. But yeah, very, very bullish there. No problem, Gorish. Happy to help. Happy to help. Eric in some gold buys. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of gold, to be honest. Well and truly not a big fan of gold. The price action's been all over the shop. I'm looking to buy gold, to be honest. I'm very bullish longer term, looking for a push back to the swing high, which is the all-time high there at 27.89. That's still very much the plan. However, I can't get a good read of the current price action. Don't really know how to make sense of that because we've got equal highs over there. We've got equal lows here. It's not really looking something worthwhile. Again, when I'm looking to trade, I'm looking for clear structure, either up or down. And this is the structure I'm looking to take advantage of. I can easily read that, easily look to trade that. When it's like this and it's flat, that's where I lose my edge. And then that's when I need to sit on the sidelines. So yeah, overall, the gold market structure is doing that in terms of higher highs and higher lows. It's been breaking out since 2024, really. So that's why I'm still bullish. There's still a lot of momentum in the market. But in terms of setups within that, I'm not really seeing much. The only setup that makes sense to me is some buys back down at 25.50, back down at that low. So if price was to get there, I'd be more than happy to take some entries in that area and see if I can swing it back to highs. And of course, back to the highs up there as well. That would be nice, 27.89. But we'll see. I'll be trading stops anyway, so depends how far price does go in my favor. But yeah, it has come back into an area where we could see another higher low. It's kind of a succession of higher lows forming, but it's in the middle of a range, so I never really looked to get involved too much in that. Because trends are great, but if we're trending in the middle of a range, it kind of loses its I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but like if you were to take trending opportunities in a larger trend, then you will have a much better success rate than taking trending opportunities in a range. Say for example that you have a higher time frame which is bullish, and you drop to the low time frames, and you also got bullish market structure as well. If you're taking buys within this sort of context, you can have a much higher success rate than, let's say, we're in a ranging market and there's a slight kind of bearish trend in there that you're looking to follow. You're not going to win as many trades than in this condition here. So this is what I'm looking for: higher time frames to be bullish and lower time frames to be bullish, rather than sideways market. Then we've just got a bearish trend that we're looking to trade within it. Not to say that you won't win any trades doing that. Of course, not. It's all probabilities at the end of the day. But you want to be focusing on areas where you're going to get the most reward, of course. Anyway, we'll start going through some of the crosses in a moment. We'll go through the rest of the CHF pairs, CAD pairs as well. We haven't touched on them. Haven't gone in the indices either. So there's still a few pairs to look at. Okay, I guess I'll start with the indices. Eric's suggestion, the DAX breaking out consolidation. So we'll start with the DAX. We'll go through some of the US indices as well. So, oh, yes, you are right. We are looking very bullish right now. Wow. We're flying. So yeah, I did suggest that there is a possibility we might have another retest there of that low at 1968, 19,700. But looks like we're starting to lift off now. I think a couple people last week said they were in some buys for the DAX. Can't remember who, but yeah, I wonder if they're still in. But yeah, really nice retest on that 50 there, retesting the level of resistance there, 19,700. And of course, retesting the 50 of that fib there. Lovely area, big wick rejection on the daily chart. And again, since the market is naturally very bullish anyway, when we're meeting that sort of confluence, there's a good chance of us bouncing. So I'm expecting the DAX to at least make it back to resistance supply, back at the high there at 2,300. I think there's a very good chance we break through that and see some new highs, because that's essentially what the market is doing. Higher highs, higher lows. That is the theme of the DAX for you. So under current conditions, with such a lovely impulse to the upside, there's a good chance we create more highs and we continue further. So yeah, with the DAX, I'm still very bullish. I would expect more upside. Yes, we're definitely breaking out now. I would say if you're looking at some intraday timeframes, I would keep an eye on some retest in this area. Say we were to push, pull back. That to me looks like a good opportunity to take, maybe on like the 30, 15 minute potentially, to keep riding that, because we're forming these major higher lows now. One over there, second over there. Could argue that's a third there as well. So you're kind of looking for the fourth and the next pullback, because it does not look like we're coming back to have that double bottom I mentioned. And then the push. It looks like that ship has sailed. So yeah, DAX very, very bullish, expecting more upside, a lot of momentum. The bonus pair on this week's weekly analysis was the NAS. I was talking about some buys for this one as well, because I really like the price action. First of all, market structure is very, very clear. Still seeing higher highs and higher lows. So the lovely low down there. Market made a new high low. Then we made a new higher high there as well. And of course, lovely double bottom this week, or last week, sorry. Retesting that level there. So I said if you can reject this area, expecting a bounce and a continuation, that probably will take us back to highs there, 22,100. So very bullish on the DAX. I spoke about the breaker structure in the hourly chart, and I said if you could see a pullback, a retest of the range here would be nice. But it looks like we kind of left that in the dust there a little bit. So if we do keep pushing, then the retest of the high here would look like a nice area to get involved with. Something like that, high, low, and the continuation. Either which way, you're looking at buys there for the DAX. You got higher time frames bullish, lower time frames bullish, a really strong double bottom, lovely bullish engulfing candle there on Friday. Momentum still very much to the upside, so I do expect us to keep pushing. So yeah, the DAX has a good chance of getting back to that high. The DAX, sorry, the NAS. Okay. Yeah, I do agree. JPYs do look very bullish. Intraday, intra-week, I do think they'll still push up. Euro yen, pound yen, CAD yen. I'm still looking for the long-term sell, but that sell might not come around until a couple of weeks from now. So I'm not really too looking for entries for that just yet. But in the meantime, buys do look good for the yen pairs. CAD yen looks really good. Euro yen looks good. Pound, even Aussie, New Zealand, if they can break the highs, look good as well. So I definitely do agree. Okay, take care, William. Have a good one, my man. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like, sub. It's free. Appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. But yeah, I really appreciate that message. If you guys are enjoying the stream, finding it useful, informative, educational, entertaining, anything positive, drop a like, subscribe. It does really help out the channel. I do really appreciate it, guys. But yeah, appreciate that. We'll have a good one, my man. We'll see you tomorrow. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the NAS. We'll go through some more indices. Okay, long S&P 500. How's that doing? Okay, it looks like it's just doing exactly what the NAS is doing. Respected support there very well. That was our last high low. We did actually break that just about. Wasn't a convincing break, but we did actually close below. So that's why I was focusing a lot on NAS, because NAS was still respecting structure well, whereas S&P did break through. But we're seeing a very strong break to the upside on the intraday level. As you can see, there's your lower high, snapped through very well, and now looking very bullish. So this being a very strong move to the downside, if we were to continue, that would be a very nice place for a retest, find your next high low, and looking to take that to the upside there as well. So Yeah, with the S&P, I'm still very bullish on this one as well, longer term, and could be pushing back to highs. Uh, as we get closer to these areas, I'd watch out because, as you can see, we did come into the range. Big strong reaction to the downside with that drop, came back, retested it again. Big strong reaction to the downside. So I would suggest as we come back into this area, watch out 6K, book some profits here because there is that possibility we could top out and have another big move back down because there's still a lot of bearish momentum in the market right now with S&P and in the indices in general. So yeah, watch out for that. We are forming some lower highs here, and who knows, maybe we do form a third one and have another meltdown. Equally, we could break through and create some new highs, but it's better to be safe than sorry. You can always trail stops, you know, book partials, up to you how you want to manage that. But I would keep an eye on that 6K. Where's your targets, Eric? I said you're long S&P. How far are you looking to take that trade? You have targets in mind, or are you looking to trail stops? Anyway, let's go through some. I need to go dollar CAD. I forgot about dollar CAD, Antonio. If I do miss out a pair, just drop it down in the chat and we'll take a look at it. If I do kind of forget about a pair, which I sometimes do. But yeah, it looks like dollar CAD's trying to break to the downside here. Is CAD strong? Because I don't remember USD being so weak, or has just suddenly become weak? Yeah, it has. Wow, that is a big drop there. That is a very big drop. Last time I had a look at the dollar, it was just trading here, but now it just had a big drop there. Euro USD, has that had a big move to the upside? Yes, it has. Damn. When did that happen? Is there some news that I missed? Not that I can see. Yeah, the only scheduled news for USD is at 2:45 in the afternoon. So I have no idea. Let me look at like the 15-minute chart. Yeah, the past two 15-minute candles have been bullish as anything. Wow. I have no idea what happened there, but yeah, we are looking very, very bearish in USD. And yeah, no, hit that zone very impulsively. Wow. Very big move. It looks like 2025 is really starting showing signs of a lot of momentum. Thursday, Friday last week, a lot of momentum. Today, a lot of momentum as well. I can't complain. Morning, Ben. Hope you're well. Dollar's dumping. Yes, it is out of nowhere. Yeah, I was looking at the indices a little bit. I was looking at pound Aussie. Then I come back to the USD, and they're just flying. But yeah, I'll go through dollar CAD. I just got sidetracked there because USD is absolutely melting, and I have no reason. I don't know why, but it's still dropping really hard right now. Yeah, look at that. That's like a news candle. Is it Trump's tweets or something? Has Trump made a tweet? I need to follow me on Twitter again. Eric, end of Q1 target, and okay, so yeah, you're looking to hold it until end of Q1. I remember you mentioning, yeah. Darkshon got GJ long entry in 5 minutes. I'm waiting to see how it plays out. Okay, we'll have a look at that as well. I'll just quickly go through dollar CAD and then we'll take a look at that as well. But yeah, I'm very bullish on GJ. I do think more upside is likely. Wait for long-term sales of oil when you get to 77.5. I'll go through oil as well too. Angus, everything is wrong. Everything's moving. Yeah, it is moving. Yen down bad as well today. Yeah, yen is down bad as well. Big move to the upside for the yen pairs. Euro yen had a nice little move to the upside. Oh, still pushing as well. So yeah, Moving. I mean, that's good, guys. The market is moving. That's good. That's what we want to see. Even if it doesn't move in your favor, the fact that it's still moving is good because the trades you do get correct happen quicker, move faster. Especially if you've got a trading stop system, you don't know. Maybe a huge trade might come around, especially on a yen pair. You might just catch a absolutely massive trade. So markets moving is always a good thing. Of course, make sure you manage your risk. You're not doing anything silly. Then it becomes a negative, really, if you're not managing that side of things. But no one likes a market that's going sideways. So it's always a positive thing if the market's moving, and it's exciting as well. But yeah, make sure you keep your cool. Don't do anything silly. But yeah, we are moving. Let me go to dollar CAD and go through that one quickly. So yeah, dollar CAD still very bullish, and it looks like we might be getting the latter. It looks like we might be getting the latter. So with dollar CAD, I mentioned two opportunities at the start of the stream. I said either the market is probably going to break the high and continue on a retest and just continue the trend because there's a lot of momentum in the market, even though we were pausing and moving sideways. It looked like the market was potentially going to break to the upside and just continue. But I also said, and which is the opportunity I'm waiting for, is hopefully a break to the downside and I can find some opportunities on a retest to go long. And this 0.618 region here running through 1.415 looks really good. So hopefully we can see something like that happen in the next few days. And then, yeah, I'll be looking to take dollar CAD back to the highs because if I go to the weekly chart very quickly, we've had a really big breakout of this resistance here. So the next level I'm looking at is the high up here. And if I drag this across, still got a bit of a way to go before we get there. So yeah, I'm looking for a pullback to then buy it back into that zone. And that's where my confidence lies. And we're really tanking right now. Yeah, we're really, really tanking. I'm so confused. Yeah, I don't know what's happened really. But at the end of the day, I'm a very technical trader. So the reason why the market is dropping isn't necessarily my biggest concern. My only concern really is there a setup. Hey, what's up, more? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. But yeah, my main focus is just market opportunities. Is there trade forming? Has it invalidated the setup? Do I need to reanalyze a certain chart? Is there a trade I need to take? Is there a trade I need to close? So that's really the questions I'm going to ask myself as to why the market is dropping or which way it's going. Not really my concern. It's just opportunities, opportunities, opportunities. And with dollar CAD, this is really what I'm looking for. And I've spoken about this for at least 2 or 3 weeks now. So hopefully I can find that opportunity in the next few days, really. So I'm hoping it actually keeps dropping really hard. But yeah, dollar is looking pretty weak right now. Let's see how that continues. We do have some news in the afternoon. I don't know if that will pause things, turn things around, or accelerate things really. Um, so yeah, very, very interesting right now. Anyway, I'll take a look at that GJ position, darker Sean. Antonio, okay, we'll go through CAD as well. So yeah, you said you're long on the 5-minute chart. Let us see. Ooh, look at that. We're flying. So it looks like we're breaking through that zone now. Yeah, we're just about taking out the high. So I said earlier on the stream, it would be nice for a pullback into this area and then the continuation. But we've just gone and broken through that. But yeah, for GJ's sake, I do expect more upside. If we drop it to the 4-hour chart, I'm looking for us to still push back into the high up there. So that's very much what I'm expecting price to do. I said I wasn't a big fan of looking to long here because that's where a lot of momentum came from. But it does look like price is just breaking through that now. So yeah, if it does continue to break through that, there could be some nice pullbacks onto that same area for some buys, something like this on the lower charts. But yeah, I do think prices like to keep pushing with the yen pairs. It's still very bullish. And I do expect price to get to those areas in the next few days. So pound yen looks good, euro yen looks good, CAD yen looks good for the buys now. Hopefully some sales could form later on. Okay, CAD yen will go through, then I'll go through some of the crosses. Don't panic is the key. 100%, 100% more. No need to panic. Um, you know, having a good kind of composed mindset is so key to trading, because you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you're not composed, if you're not patient, if you're panicking at every opportunity, seeing the market move, you're not going to execute it well. So it doesn't even matter if you have a really good strategy, you're not gonna pull through. So keeping a composed mind, focusing on your setups, focusing on your trades, is the only way forward, really. And having a detailed plan that you can read over and understand well is going to help guide you. Anyway, let me go through CAD Yen. So CAD Yen, I imagine this is looking pretty bullish. Okay, CAD Yen hasn't really moved much since we last spoke. It's still in that area, just about spiked through, but it's still in the same place. But yeah, CAD Yen is another one I'm expecting more upside from. I'm expecting a push back to the high there, and then again, that's where I'm looking to take some shorts. But in the meantime, we have a double bottom, break of structure, higher high, higher low, another higher high, and again, the market made another higher low. So I'm looking for another push back to 111.5. I said earlier, if we were to break the high well, there could be some nice opportunities on the retest of that same zone at 109, 900, and then trade it back to the high. And then, of course, I'll start looking at some sells. But yeah, CAD Yen. Oh, this is the 5-hour chart. Let me drop back to the 4-hour. There we go. So yeah, with CAD Yen, that's really much my thinking. Break of the high, continuation, just keeping in line with what the market is doing right now. So something like that could look good maybe the next couple of days. What do you think about gold? Yeah, I don't like gold at all. Ben, to be honest with you, I do not like gold. I don't really know what it's doing, to be honest. The way I'm looking at gold, wow, it's looking pretty bullish right now. Of course, with USD falling, but we've got equal highs here, equal lows more or less here as well. Kind of a bit of a fake out there too. So maybe we're going to get a continuation to the upside of the range, because this might be a fake out, and we're going to use that to our advantage, stopping out some traders, and now we're going to reverse. And maybe that's what price is going to do. I'm still very much bullish long term, still looking for a push back to the high here. So my plan is finding a good opportunity in that direction, but there isn't one that fits my plan right now. Overall structure is still very corrective on the way up as well. This could still be a correction of that to continue lower, or it might be prices correcting now to start pushing back to the upside. So I don't really see a good buy yet, apart from this area. As I've been saying, if we were to see a bigger move back down there, I'd be more than happy to get long, put a decent stop loss below the level, and see if I can trade it back to the highs and maybe further as well. So with gold, very bullish still. That's still my longer term play, but overall, it just seems very choppy to me. And that's not the conditions where, I'm going to make my best trade. So I'm going to stay away from that until it cleans up, until momentum comes in. Silver looks like a much better opportunity to me. So I'm going to more focus on silver and pairs like that. And I'll go through oil, Eric, as well. Yeah, it seems like it doesn't know what's going on. That's a good way to put it. It doesn't look like it knows what it wants to do itself. So if it doesn't know what it's doing, then I definitely don't. And again, I trade a wide range of markets. So every week there'll be a set few markets which look good, direction looks good, conferences look good, and that's where I want to put my eggs in those baskets. And there's always a market every week which I don't like, which looking choppy, which looking corrective, and I want to stay far away. And gold is in that bracket, unfortunately. BTC. Okay, I'll go through oil first for Eric, and then I'll go through Bitcoin now. So oil was very bullish last week, wasn't it? Oil was soaring. Yeah, it still is looking pretty bullish. So I'm still looking for that lower high. In fact, if I stay on the daily chart, I'm still looking for that lower high for oil, and we're coming into the area where you would expect that to start forming. Kind of joining up the lower highs there, looking for another one to drop and form. If I drop to the 4-hour chart, Okay, there isn't a clear-cut level which I would sell from, but the trend line is in that vicinity there. So if we're to keep pushing into that trend line, could be looking at some double tops forming for a nice short. That could be a nice trade in terms of the swing. Equally, the buys do look good because we've now broken through 77, 72, sorry, which is a pretty big level. So the buys and the retest of that could look good in terms of more shorter term bias. So kind of looking for the retest to take it back to the highs to then sell it back down again. That makes a load of sense as well. Because essentially we had a range here, equal highs, equal lows, price broke through, retest, take it back to highs, then a sell from there. Looks good. So yeah, with oil, I do agree with the bearish bias. I'm looking at that longer term. I do think this wick low will eventually be taken out. The market's still very consistent with these lower highs, and I will still be looking at another one to form. And this is kind of the area which I would anticipate that forming. There's no kind of big support resistance level which I'll be looking for the retest of. Only thing there is the trend line that really does back the sells. So I'll be waiting for price to get there, looking for some double top confirmations or break of structure, and then looking for that big sell to come in. But in the meantime, as I said, there might be some nice buys on the break and retest of that level to take it back into resistance. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. All right, take care, Dark Sean. Have a good one, my man. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, we'll go through Bitcoin, BTC, USD. So yeah, with Bitcoin, yeah, still doing a good job, to be honest. Bitcoin hasn't really set the world alight for a while now. It's still been very, very corrective, but the key thing with Bitcoin was still holding on to key support here at 94K, which again, for me, is such critical support because if it doesn't hold and price does break through, then I'm looking for a pushback to 73, 74K. So Bitcoin, as long as it holds this area, I actually do expect Bitcoin to swing back to highs again, which is 106, 107K, and potentially higher prices as well. Of course, who knows? Maybe we fly to 120K. But this is such important support. You can see how many wicks prices put into the same zone. So many wicks, so much rejection. So it definitely is a lot of buyers holding well at that level. So that's why if it should break, the next big level is really this area here. There's nothing really to contend with. There's some smaller levels on the left over here, but I would expect I would expect the price to break through that and make its way back to 73K. So as long as we can hold this area, I do favor Bitcoin back to highs and higher. If we were to break through suddenly, then yeah, could we see some nice shorts on the way down? Then we can plan some swings from that area. So yeah, still bullish on Bitcoin. Maybe is a bit corrective, not moving well. Might come back down again for another retest. As long as it can hold, I do think there's a chance for a swing to some new highs. And if it does break, then probably got about a 20% drop at least there back to 73, 74K. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Bitcoin. And if I have a look at Ethereum whilst I'm at it. Okay, so Ethereum was pretty bullish. Has it broken through the level? Yeah, it looks like it has, to be honest. Okay, so I was speaking about some shorts here last week with Ethereum. I mean, it's coming back into this area of supply just above. So it might struggle a little bit. But in terms of support and resistance, it has broken through that level there. I was looking for that zone to hold and then another drop to the downside, but we didn't get that. Price had a really strong candle back to back and closed above. Now it's kind of correctively moving above. So if Ethereum can now start to put a higher low in, there could be a bit of a comeback here. And of course, that'll take us back to the highs here on the left, 4K. So there could be a bit of a comeback there for Ethereum, but we got to start putting these higher lows in because it's a nice push. We broke through the level, sure, but if we were to break back underneath, we're back at square one again, and the sales look good again. So we need to start putting some higher lows in. We did one over here, so if we we're going to keep that up, there could be some nice buys forming there with Ethereum. Maybe push up. I wouldn't buy it yet. I'll wait for that high low to form first, and then I'll look for the next one. That's a much safer trade. But yeah, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin though. Ethereum. I need a little bit more before I start advocating for buys. I have no idea. Cease integrated. I have no idea what's happened with the DXY. It literally just dropped out of nowhere. But yeah, I'm still bullish bias, 100%. It hasn't taken out any kilos, so I'm still very bullish on the dollar. But in terms of characteristics, it's not a healthy retracement. I want to see my retracements look corrective like this. Say we had a nice impulse to the upside. Then I want price to be slow and correct. It doesn't have to be perfectly corrective. It can be a bit momentum here and there. The market's not perfect. Very rarely would give you a perfect corrective retracement. There will be some impulsive candles in there, but like this is heavy hitting. So it does tell me that maybe with the DXY now, we probably could see something like this happen and a bigger correction. I'm still looking for the higher low to form and a push back to the highs. But again, with this new information that we've seen with these big candles, I mean, this 4-hour candle still's got to close, which it does close in 2 hours time. So a lot can happen in 2 hours, especially with the current momentum and everything. Maybe it does pull back and leaves a bit of a wick. I mean, in 2 hours time, we would have a news event, actually, PMI for USD. So we'll see how that affects the market. But yeah, very strong move to the downside. If it does close with this momentum, you can probably expect to see a bit of a correction in the lower time frames, another drop, but I still do expect more upside. So there's two zones I was looking to buy from, this being one of them, which was the original level. We never had the retest there, unfortunately. But now we've had this really strong drop. I'm looking for a slightly deeper correction to test that same level at 107. Then maybe from here is where we do really let fly and see that next high low form. Because of course this was the low, which gave us the high over there. I've drawn the fib from the low to the high. This is where you got the 0.618, which is always a healthy place to take trades. Got the 0.5 just below there too. So yeah, if we do close with that strength, I think USD's like to keep falling maybe. I'm still overall looking to buy. I'm not looking to sell. But instead of looking for this zone for the buys, I'd more focus on 107 now. So yeah, could be looking at some bigger corrections. But yeah, that drop happened out of nowhere. Okay, I'm doing good. Thank you, Salman. Hope you're well. New Zealand CAD. Okay, I'll take a look at that as well. Yes, Anton Gold is up with this USD drop there. That's definitely helped gold push up. On the silver looking bullish as well. Ooh, silver's looking very bullish right now. Okay, so if we do get that break of structure there, that means the buys are very much on silver. So I need to keep an eye on that. Okay, so I'll go for New Zealand CAD for Salmon. Hope you're doing good. Someone doing a catapult, sure. Enter small buy time frame 50-minute. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's still in bullish territory, so I'm still very bullish on USD. You know, these drops the downside. I'm still looking as a retracement for price to keep going higher. But because it's so aggressive, it looks like we might have a bit of a correction and possibly continue further. So 107 looks good in terms of the buys, but we'll see how things develop. I mean, we still need that candle to close. If it does leave a big wick on the dollar, then that zone looks like it's still being respected and we could turn around. But yeah, it's come out of nowhere. It's not like it's a scheduled news event and prices just drop there. So I don't know, yeah, what's behind that. But yeah, really big push. In terms of New Zealand CAD, very bearish on New Zealand CAD, expecting a lot more downside for this one. Looks like we're having a bit of a pullback, which is great because this is what I've been looking for the past couple of weeks now. We've been very corrective in this kind of weird descending channel here, but it looks like we're starting to see a bit of a move. On the daily chart, we've taken out some massive swing lows on the daily. So this was our swing low, which gave us a massive swing to the upside, creating new highs. We've gone and broken through that. And just to put the cherry on cake, we broke through the previous one as well, which is a clear sign that these buyers are not doing a good job at respecting lows, finding support and respecting support. So because they're being taken out and validated, I do expect to see lower highs continuing. So another push to the upside, a lower high forms. I'm expecting a drop. Long term, I do think we can make our way back down to this level of support. So I'm very bearish on New Zealand CAD. If I can drop to the 4-hour chart, you can see the market's been very consistent with these lower highs. One over there, second over there, third over there. And my plan is very much looking for the next lower high in that sequence. So if I whip out the old channel there, connecting the highs, connecting the lows as well. The plan is very much, let's look for a pullback back into resistance. You know, we can retest this lovely little range here on the left as well. Put the next lower high on. You know, stops above the high over there. And then, of course, you got a lovely short back to the low. And you do got the daily zone just beneath us there as well. That's really what I'm looking at for New Zealand CAD. So yeah, very bearish on this one. It's a pair on the watch list. Actually, I'm looking at it a lot, and it now looks like we're seeing some upside here this morning. So hopefully this can continue, and it doesn't just do something weird and sell off again like I did last week. Can I remove that out of the way, or what's going on here? There we go. So yeah, hopefully we can have a bit of retracement here. Let me just clean up the chart a little bit. So yeah, a bit of retracement there for New Zealand CAD. Find the next lower high. And yeah, keeping that short bias and just looking for the next low high in that sequence, really. Aussie CAD, a very similar pair to New Zealand CAD, is doing the exact same thing as well. It hasn't taken that major swing low, so I don't like Aussie CAD as much as I do New Zealand CAD, because this is our last swing low in the daily chart, which you can still see is being respected. Whereas if I go to New Zealand CAD, our last swing low, which gave us the new high, has of course been taken out. So it's a sign that more downside is to come. But because Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD are very similar pairs, and they do pretty much the same thing 90% of the time, I do expect Aussie CAD to form another lower high as well. This one's been very, very consistent with all these lower highs. One over there, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then we're looking for number 7. And again, in a similar way, if I whip out the channel, connecting the lower highs to the lows, we've got some nice confluence up here, brief range, tap into that area, hopefully do that at some point this week. And again, looking for the sell to the downside. So they both look good on the 4-hour. New Zealand CAD's got a little bit more going for it. But I do think in terms of risk to reward, Aussie CAD might be the more attractive one, because if this one tanks, I think we've got a good chance of tanking it all the way back down to 0.57. If I expand to the weekly chart, you know, we're putting in some major lower highs here. And I'm wondering, excuse the awful drawing, I'm wondering if this is the next low high for another sell back into the low. So if that's the case, there's a big drop to be had. But yeah, very, very similar opportunities for both of them. I expect both of them to play out or not play out. So just about picking the better one, finding your entry, and getting involved. Okay, I'll have a look at pound CAD. I haven't looked at that one yet. Approaching our previous support. Okay, I'll go through pound CAD for you. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe. It does really help out. So yeah, if you're talking about this level, I 100% agree with you. So this level here, prior support, now flipped as resistance. This is a nice place for a short. Now with pound CAD, the trend is still very much to the upside in the higher time frame. So any shorts are always going to be a little bit more aggressive. It's counter trend. Not saying you shouldn't take shorts and shouldn't go counter trend. There are times where counter trend is the best way forward, and you can get some really nice trade counter trend. But with counter trend, you've always got to respect the trend, because at any point the market trend could just continue. So I think the shorts look really good here. We saw kind of a nice head and shoulder pattern. So if I connect the highs, of course, you got the lovely left shoulder there. You got your head, you got your right shoulder. This being a neckline, which since has snapped and has left behind some areas to short from. So I do like the shorts. Brief consolidation here as well. If price was to come back, tap into that area, I think that's a great place for a short. Another sell back into the low, and I think this is a good place to take your profit and maybe walk away. There's a chance we could have a bigger move down. We've been really failing at the highs here, so who knows? This could be the top of the range. But equally, if the trend, if the not range, sorry, top of the trend, but if the trend does continue, it's going to eat your floating profits and turn against you there. But yeah, it's a nice place to short from. What's that? 1.798. Yeah, 798. We'll call it. Looks like a really healthy place to short from. I think there's a lot more downside we can expect with pound CAD. It looks like a nice double tops forming there. And then we can see some shorts. But yeah, not the biggest fan of pound CAD, but it's a nice setup down the hourly chart because it was a strong break to the downside. So get a lower high and then some more continuations. And we're just talking about EuroCAD earlier on. Oh, look at that for a wick. Wow, I think that's just happened from the USD movement. No problem, Salman. Happy to help, but yeah, crazy move to the upside there. I think that's all stemmed from the dollar. Such a big drop there, such a big drop, and it's just a bit weird because it hasn't happened with scheduled news. I'm sure we can find the reason to it, but yeah, really big move there, which has made things interesting because pound USD, I imagine that's probably breaking through support right now. Yeah, it is breaking through support there as well. So even though we are breaking through this, I'll still be bearish on pound. So if I whip out the fib from the high to the low, we've got the 50, 0.618. This is still an area where I would expect price to sell off from, find the next lower high. As long as we don't break through the high here, that's what keeps me bearish on pound. Because this is the high that gave us that big drop. So again, looking for the next high to give us another big drop is still very much the plan. But yeah, that is a very, very aggressive move there. And that's the key thing about moves. If they're aggressive, you need to really consider them because this was aggressive to the downside, which is great. But the fact that we reversed it and now we're aggressive back up, this is starting to look like a V-shaped pattern, which could initiate more upside. So the sales might come a lot higher up than expected. You might see a bullish week this week and maybe a lot of upside, so be careful of that. Appreciate it more. Thank you so much for tuning in, my man. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Appreciate it. Take care. Hope you have a good day. But yeah, that's really what I've seen there from pound USD. And of course, dollar CAD is dumping as well. Yeah, wow, that is looking very bearish. Is Aussie dollar making a move to the upside now? It is. Wow, that's very close to the zone there. New Zealand dollar. Are we doing the same thing? I'd imagine so. Yep, strong to the upside. Looks like we're seeing the pullbacks finally. Very corrective on the way down. Now looks like we're breaking out of that. Let me go take a look at dollar CHF. Yep, big move down as well. I actually don't mind dollar CHF. Lovely swing here from the low to the high. There is some nice confluence just underneath us. We've got the 50. We testing that high there. Again, still very much a trending mark to the upside. It's in a bigger range, which I don't like, but overall, this is not a bad trend to follow. So I still do like the buys here for dollar CHF. Is dollar yen pushing strong as well? No, not really. Oh no, okay, it would be selling off. Yeah, it would be selling off. I got that wrong. I mean, not doing much, but looks like yen's a little bit weak too. And the yen pairs are pushing, I guess. Yep, euro yen looking strong. We had a look at pound yen. Looking pretty strong. How's CHF JPY doing? Yep, looking strong as well. Yeah, CAD more or less strong there. But yeah, it's been an interesting start to the week, I must say. Was not expecting that from dollar. But again, I'm still bullish on dollar despite this big drop. It just means that maybe we have a deeper pullback than expected. I was looking initially at this zone for price to respect and push on. But if we close like this in the next 2 hours, that is looking like a big V shape or inverse V shape pattern to me. So impulse up, impulse down. That tells me more downside is likely to occur. So we're looking at a slightly deeper pullback to this 0.618 area. And then maybe we do see signs of reversal and a big push up. But yeah, very aggressive move. It's going to be an interesting week this week. And of course, we do have NFP on Friday as well, which is always interesting. But yeah, guys, we have come to the end of the stream. I will be live again tomorrow, every day this week as usual. So feel free to pop in if you're free from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time every weekday. So if you're free, come in, say hi, and chat with us. But I do really appreciate each and every one of you tuning into the stream today. Like I said, if you found it useful, drop a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it with your trading friends, and of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on a stream or a video, a post in the future. But guys, really do appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, I'll be live tomorrow, so I hope I do see you guys there. If not, have a good one, and I'll catch you all in the next one.